I'll sum up your lengthy book in just 5 minutes. Yeah, you heard me, 5 minutes. It's wonderful, it's great. Go ahead and set things straight. Hey guys, and welcome to the one and only video that will save you. Literally. In this video, you will enter the one and only point of view of both Charlotte Bronte and Jane Eyre. Hold up, girl. There's only two people and only one point of view. Did you miscount? I bet Mr. Gavon would be really disappointed. Haha, nope, but I'll explain that later. So to begin with, I'll give you some background about the one and only author. Wait, isn't she considered to be a 200-year English treasure? Yes, in fact, she would have turned 200 on April 20th. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Charlotte Bronte was a famous poet and writer. She was born in Thornton, West Yorkshire, UK. She grew up with her four other siblings, Elizabeth, Maria, Emily, Anne, and the only boy, Branwell. Sorry you had to deal with that girl drama, old sport. Just kidding. No, they were great to each other. Did you just attempt to pull a Gatsby saying right there? For the record, that didn't go well. To start off with, Charlotte's life was pretty tough, let me tell you. Her mom died when she was just 5 years old and her father remarried to her aunt. And after that incident had happened, Charlotte and Emily followed their two sisters, Maria and Elizabeth, to Cowanbridge, a clergy daughter's school. However, during that time, tuberculosis was very common, and her sisters, Maria and Elizabeth, died shortly from it. The deaths of her sisters really helped shape Charlotte's personality, especially since it affected her. And after that incident, her father educated them at home and tutored them, and this helped influence the remaining Brontes to develop a love for writing. Finally, get to the point, would you? Tell me about Jane. I don't want to hear about Charlotte. Okay, quit being sassy. My gosh. Jane Eyre is in some parts similar to Charlotte Bronte because many of the scenes in the novel are purposely created to relate them to Charlotte's actual experiences. So Jane is in many parts of the novel Charlotte speaking. Essentially, Charlotte Bronte is disguising herself as Jane to send some important messages across in the novel. So Jane Eyre is basically this young 10-year-old girl that's living with her cruel Aunt Reed because her uncle had just passed away, and her Aunt Reed bullies and mistreats her, locking her up one time in a red room, which was the same room that her uncle had died in. How creepy is that? Well, Jane's personality doesn't let this bullying go any farther and moves to the Lowood institution where she hopes to focus on her studies and start a fresh new life. She meets a girl named Helen who becomes her close friend and stands by her when again she gets bullied this time by Brocklehurst, who is this filthy rich owner of this institution and who brings back her haunting past and embarrasses her in front of the entire school. Shortly after, Helen passes away from fever, and Miss Temple, one of the teachers who stood by Jane, leaves Lowood. So Jane also leaves Lowood because she's not going to stay out of school without any friends, to go work as a governess at a household in Thornfield with Edward Rochester. Yeah, remember this guy because he's really important. Well, you all know what kind of happens. I mean, come on, it's sort of obvious. They fall in love and are headed towards getting married. But before this, some mysterious things happen in Thornfield, and let me tell you, someone sets Rochester's room on fire, and Jane keeps hearing these creepy laughs in the house. And then out of the blue, Aunt Reed is about to kick the bucket and is informing Jane that she's about to die. Despite all the verbal abuse that Aunt Reed said to Jane from before, Jane still went to care for her, and when she returned to Thornfield, Rochester proposed. Aww. After their engagement and right before their wedding, something weird really happens to Jane Eyre, and it's this pretty creepy dream that she has of this woman ripping her veil into two. And let me tell you, I would definitely not get married to that dude Rochester just because I believe in dreams. But Jane obviously ignores it and proceeds with her marriage. Until this guy, Richard Mason, on the day of their actual wedding, tells Jane that Rochester is married to an insane woman named Bertha who is trapped in the attic. So after Jane leaves Rochester, guess what happens to Rochester? karma. Rochester's house is burned down because his insane wife, Bertha, set the house on fire and she died in it. Well, as for the player, he lost his sight and his arm. And when Jane heard this, she came running to Rochester and she got married to him despite the conditions he's in. And they lived happily ever after and even had their little child of their own. The end. That's all there is, folks. Hope you enjoyed my video and I'll see you next time.